Hey friends, we've got something really special to invite you to, a free event, the Power of Pleasure Summit hosted by your favorites, Dr. Willow and myself. We want you to stop settling for predictable intimacy and kickstart your sexiest year yet. We've got a live event February 11th through the 12th, 2 days, 16 sexperts, and it's all for free.
Let's kick Valentine's to the curb and just make the whole year sexier. You're going to learn how connection is the gateway to vitality, safety, and erotic power. You're also going to learn how to revive the spark in long-term relationships so that you could be having more intimacy, more fun, and more sex. And you're even going to learn about how to give a little lap dance to reawaken play, power, and embodied joy.
There is going to be a free replay period, so even if you can't join us live, you will have a chance to binge to your heart's delight. All of this is online, so you can tune in from anywhere in the world. Just go to sexreimagined.com/power-of-pleasure. We'll see you there.
There are so many aphrodisiacs on the market, but one that we really don't think about is sleep. Could you imagine that sleep is like an amazing ultimate aphrodisiac? And science has actually proved this. Studies have shown that women who sleep more are 14% more likely to want to have sex with their partners, while men who are getting less than 5 hours of sleep per night have a 15% decrease in testosterone, their main driving sex hormone. And so that just means that sleep is your body's time to restore your hormones, reduce stress, and reignite desire. I'm Dr. Willow Brown, and I'm here with Leah Piper. We are the Sex Reimagined podcast, and we're exploring better sleep for better libido.
Yes, so tune in, turn on, and fall in love with feeling sexier when you have deeper sleep.
Welcome to the Sex Reimagined podcast, where sex is shame-free and pleasure-forward. Let's get into the show.
So
Sleep.
I, for one, am a huge fan of sleep. I feel like so much better when I get a good night's sleep. And I always have a bit of a struggle the next day if I didn't have a good night's sleep. And
Yeah.
I'm so deeply grateful that I am a good sleeper. But I help so many people who struggle with sleep. And I just feel like it is something that can be easily remedied. There are so many herbs and practices and things that can really support getting better sleep. What about you? Are you a good sleeper?
I ebb and flow with good sleep. I've been struggling a little bit, I think because of perimenopause. So my hormones we haven't dialed the perfect hormone replacement
Dosage, yeah.
therapies. We're in the process of that right now, playing with some dosages, but it's probably going to take me all year to get the right formula of testosterone, estrogen, and progesterone. But I'm well on my way. I have been trying some new things that are helping. I can fall asleep fine. It's staying asleep that can be a little bit problematic. And I had about 8 years in my younger adult life where I was taking a sleep aid every single night. And I have to say,
like a pharmaceutical sleep aid, not like a nerve.
I did 3 things. I had a natural sleep aid, a pharmaceutical sleep aid, and then this other sleep aid that's a little controversial. I don't know that I'll talk at great length about it, but I would switch all 3. So I didn't have a dependency, but then I switched doctors after about 8 years, and I left a relationship, and I was getting my prescriptions filled with this new doctor, and she basically said, "Yeah, I'm not doing this. We'll put you in a sleep study. I'll give you one more prescription." And I was like, "You can't do that. I have to sleep. I travel. I have different time zones. I had all these excuses why she was going to fuck up my life. She goes, "We'll put you in a sleep study. We're going to get you sleep, but you need natural sleep." And then I had some friends who were doctors, and one of them said, who was a brain surgeon here locally in Sacramento, and he said there is a particular amino acid that only gets released when you have deep natural sleep. No sleep aid, pharmaceutical, natural or otherwise, can give you that amino acid. And when you go years without that amino acid, that could lead to Alzheimer's or some of these other terrible aging diseases. So that freaked me out.
Yeah.
And I have to say that doctor really did me a huge favor by saying I'm not going to refill these.
So you did a whole sleep study. Yeah.
I just had to muscle through a month of discomfort. And then I started to sleep like a babe. And I have slept so much better for the last 15 years because she did me that solid.
I love that.
And there's nothing beats natural sleep. Everything is better, including your orgasms. I'm a firm believer that if you want better sex, you need better sleep.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, like, after doing that sleep study, how did your drive and desire? I mean, you were in your younger years, so you already had like probably plenty of drive and desire. About what shifted for you there?
Well, I got off antidepressants and started using natural supplements to help with dysregulation with depression. So high dosage of 5-HTP instead of an SRI made a huge difference in my sexual drive, even though I was younger. And getting natural sleep gave me more energy, corrected my moods, made me it was eating better. My stress levels were down. I was a nicer person to be around.
Like your food cravings were different?
Yeah. Food cravings shifted. I wasn't driving towards caffeine and sugar so much.
You wanted
because
more
I
like
was well
fruits and
rested. I
veggies.
wasn't needing that, jolt of energy to get through my day. And my skin looked better. I mean, I think I became more attractive, more desirable because I looked better because I had, I was well rested. So everything I think gets improved with decent sleep. And, it's scary when you're not sleeping well. I really get the anxiety that happens and why people will reach for sleep aids. I totally understand the fear that gets generated when you can't get through the night. It sucks.
Yeah, it starts to become this like downward spiral of like you get in bed and already you're anxious that you're not going to be able to fall asleep, and then the next day is going to be terrible, and you just kind of get yourself into this panic before you even have the chance to fall asleep naturally. I've had the same experience with like food stuff. It's like I'll sit down to a meal and I'm like, before I even take my first bite, I'm like, oh God, I have anxiety about eating this food because I know it's going to hurt my stomach.
Wow.
So I get it, but from a different perspective. And we really live in this society that really glorifies like being busy. Oh, you're busy? Oh, good. Oh, you always got something going on. Oh, that's good. It's like the hustle culture is really glorified. And you probably all have heard, I know I've said it, I'll sleep when I'm dead, and it's like, well, definitely you'll be dead when you're dead. It's different than sleep. So I think that there's not as much value, I feel like, especially in the American culture, around rest, napping, sleeping. Europe has their whole siesta tradition. They really got it right with that. Like having short little rests and even grabbing a couple nods in the middle of the day actually boosts.
I took 2 yesterday. 10 to 15-minute power nap. It felt
amazing.
So good and luxurious.
Yeah.
And you really want to be careful with those, though. The honey spot is between 20 to 35, 40 minutes is like your stretch. You don't want to take an hour long nap.
That's right. I always call them shamanic power naps, where I lay down and I put my hands on my heart and my belly and I say, okay, what's my intention? And it's, often like, I just want to catch just enough nods, just enough winks to wake up and to feel super energized and motivated for the rest of the day. And these little, power naps, they actually boost your cognition, they boost your mood, they boost your heart health, your creativity, and they just reduce stress overall. So, I feel like there's we need to give ourselves permission to have these more often.
Yeah, they really are restorative. If you end up sleeping longer than 45 minutes, you get a decrease in energy versus an increase in energy. They become less restorative. And so you really kind of want to keep them on the short side. And then it's like having a cup of coffee. You feel refreshed.
It's
you just
better
feel
than a cup of
lot
coffee.
Better. Yeah. I know some people can't quite settle their system to fall into a nap. So then what I would recommend is falling into a meditation.
Yeah,
Giving
exactly.
yourself a chance to do some belly breaths, expand your diaphragm. When you expand your diaphragm through breath control, you're going to drop your cortisol levels. The diaphragmatic breathing helps calm your adrenals so that you can have sort of a rest and digest moment where you can kind of just unplug from the hustle. The other thing is that you'll perform better at work. If you do this instead of maybe a caffeine jolt, and you end up doing just like a short meditation with some diaphragmic breathing to drop your cortisol levels, your mental focus increases exponentially. In fact, they've done a lot of studies that show, I think it's you work for 35, 40 minutes, take a 5-minute break. So you are hyper focused for 35 to 45 minutes with a 5-minute break. Your performance, your focus, your attention span is 10 times stronger. And I used to do this with my positive psychology group. We would do these jam sessions where everyone would come on Zoom for like 3 hours. And when we do these 35, 40-minute spots where everyone's doing a project, it's like parallel playing. And then we'd have a dance break for 5 minutes. And then we'd go back to our project. And we would especially do this for projects we were resisting. So for some people, it'd be cleaning their house. For someone else, it'd be dealing with a project they've been meaning to do. Other people would be like building a website, like whatever it was that they were resisting. We would come and do these jam sessions. Now, how does this relate to sex? You might be asking. Is like when you are performing better, whether that's in the workplace or in the bedroom, you feel better. You're in a better mood because you're creating state changes that allow you to relax, that bring about oxytocin and dopamine. So you have a sense of well-being. It's very hard for a woman to have an orgasm if she's stressed out. If her
tired.
Cortisol levels are high or she's tired, like sex is the last thing on her mind. She can't, she can't even relax enough to have an orgasm, even if she does the performative task of having sex just because she's trying to be a good wife or because her partner wants to. It doesn't mean it's going to be satisfying for her.
Yeah, it's so true. I mean, when we're not getting good rest, not just sleep. I know there's also studies on when you take, regular naps, it actually makes your nighttime sleep better when you get that perfect,
right?
Like 20-minute. Yeah, there's a book on that. I can't remember the name of it right now. But when you're not getting that deep rest, it actually steals from your ability to experience dopamine, which is that, pleasure hormone. Yeah. So that's definitely going to reduce your sexual desire and your sex drive. So that's another reason that it's just so important for us to not only get good deep sleep at night, good deep natural sleep, but also to have moments of rest throughout the day. And so I love that that time blocking that you're talking about, where it's like 35 minutes straight focus and then take a 5 or even 10-minute break and do your little dance routine or do some, coherent breathing or
off
move
your butt.
Around. Yeah,
go to the bathroom, make a cup of tea, do some stretching, turn up some fun music, get in your body and out of your head. It's the best thing you can do for your head.
Yeah. It's
hard to do though. The discipline of like actually getting up and taking a break. I mean, who doesn't struggle with that when you're on the computer? You just kind of try to
keep going,
stay
you power
forward
through,
and check it off the list.
Yeah. Well, I like to think of it as like radical self-care, because there's self-care like I'm going to go to yoga every Tuesday and Thursday morning, or I'm going to get a massage once a month. That's great. Right. But then there's radical self-care, which is like I am going to get up and go to the bathroom as soon as my bladder tells me it's time to get up. I'm not going to ignore my bladder for 40 minutes to try to power through something on the computer. I'm actually going to take care of myself in a radical way. And so I feel like I want to try that actually, because I have got so many projects right now on the computer. And so I'm going to do that. I'm going to set a timer. It seems like if you just set a timer for 35 minutes, then you're on. And then you set a timer for 5 minutes and then you're moving around, dancing, breathing, playing, right?
Yeah. The fear is that you're going to lose your train of thought. You're going to lose a thread. And so I suggest like writing the thread down before you get up for your break.
Yeah.
So that you can let go
put a little
of
bookmark
the anxiety of like going, oh my God, I'll forget where I was at. Because we get like in these, I don't even think it's a flow state. I think maybe sometimes it is where you're just on a project and you're going. And then next thing you know, it's been 2.5 hours. And I know for me, I'm usually working like on 4 projects at a time. I'm jumping from answering an email to finishing a landing page to responding to a client lead. And I'm kind of switching back and forth. And so the fear is if I take a break,
you'll
I'm going
lose
to drop
your place.
the thread on one of those. It's good to maybe just have a notebook nearby so you can empty your brain of whatever you're worried you're going to lose track of if you get up and have that bathroom break, for instance.
Yeah. Or your dance break. I like the idea of a dance break. I'm going to try that. That sounds really fun.
Yeah.
ED really increases because I know you and I both have lots of male clients who come to us with ED issues. And every single time I have an interview, to kind of assess what's going on for these men, I ask them about their sleep. Almost 100% of the time, it is a factor. Like they're waking up at 3 a.m., which according to Chinese medicine is the time of the liver, which is also, according to Chinese medicine, where we hold stress. So we call in Chinese medicine, liver qi stagnation. This is basically stress. And if you're ever went to Chinese medicine school, it's like liver qi stagnation is stated and talked about every single day, multiple times a day. And it's like this big thing. And it's very, very, I ask people all the time, they come in and they're on the table and I say, oh, how's your sleep? Oh, I don't sleep well. Oh, and I ask them, oh, do you wake up anytime between 2 and 3 a.m.? And they're like, yeah, how did you know that? And it's always because that's the time of the liver. And it's so if there's a component of stress, which we all carry, that is really going to affect the sleep. And it's hard to get back to sleep at that time of night, too.
Right. That's certainly been my struggle in recent times, is just falling back to sleep after I wake up is really challenging. It can take 2 hours.
Yeah.
So what you're suggesting is do a liver detox and reset.
For sure. A liver detox will definitely help. Acupuncture sessions are definitely going to help. And then there's specific herbs that you can take if you're someone who goes to bed at night and your mind is busy and you're ruminating and you're thinking and you can't turn it off and the monkey mind is just going nuts and you can't fall asleep. So that you'll want to reach for kava. Kava Forte by Standard Process is a great kava supplement, and that's going to really kind of put you under. Other things that you could reach for are like GABA. That's going to really support and bring your nervous system down. 5-HTP.
GABA boosters, like valerian. What else is a GABA booster? Or you just take GABA?
You just take GABA.
Okay.
Yeah, just GABA. So if you're someone who I can't fall asleep, reach for kava, reach for GABA, reach for 5-HTP. If you're somebody who's waking up in the middle of the night, especially in that 3 o'clock hour range, then you want to reach for valerian. That's actually the one that will kind of put you back to sleep. So if people are really struggling with that, like if I can't fall back asleep at night, then I'll start them out with just have a couple valerian out of the bottle next to your bed. Your water's ready to go so that you can quickly just swallow them down. And you'll be able to go back to sleep quickly. If that isn't enough, then I'll say take 2 kava as well. And that will really kind of get them back to sleep. And then sometimes, melatonin, you don't want to be dependent on melatonin and you don't want to be taking it all the time. But it's fantastic for those who travel a lot and are on different time zones and need to reset their circadian rhythm quickly. It's amazing for that.
My only concern with melatonin is that it's a hormone.
Let's take a quick break.
Hey guys, what would it be like if you could last 10 times longer when you're having sex?
We are going to teach you how to gain massive confidence as a lover, all without performance anxiety, gimmicks, or prescription.
This course is perfect for you if you've ever been mortified by a sexual encounter that ended way too early.
Or if you've ever avoided intimacy out of fear that you won't last as long as your lover desires. Or maybe you long to give your partner multiple orgasms but can't last long enough to make that a reality.
Well, good news, we've got your back. And it's in our course, Last 10 Times Longer. Go to sexreimagine.com/last-10X-longer.
And for all of our favorite listeners out there, we are giving you a discount, 20% off, y'all. Just put in podcast 20, all caps, podcast 20 to get your 20% off of this phenomenal course that you're going to want to review more than once.
We cannot wait to see you inside this course. Plus, don't forget, we always got tons of bonuses. See you there.
That's right. It is a hormone, which is why you don't want to be on it all the time. You don't want to be using it every night. You want to use it just as needed. Yeah, like only for severe moments of like reset my circadian rhythm because I just traveled and I have jet lag, or I just, I have to get to sleep tonight and nothing else is working. So
now one of the things I've been experimenting with is mushrooms.
Okay.
So one is, I just got this, I put it in Matt's stocking, as a stocking stuffer this year. It's called Alice, and it's mushroom chocolates for deep sleep. It uses a reishi mushroom extract.
Okay.
It has chamomile in it, Therazitine. Is that sound familiar to you? I'm probably saying it wrong. The writing's a little hard to read. Zinc and magnesium. And it's really kind of yummy.
Yeah.
So I'm
Sounds
hoping that
good.
these aren't dependency. I don't think mushrooms are medicinal.
They don't
mushrooms.
those are not magic mushrooms. They are like medical grade mushrooms.
Yeah,
reishi.
medicinal mushrooms.
Those are adaptogenics, so that's good. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I've been kind of checking out these two. And by the way, you guys, I'm recommending these though. We don't get paid for these, unfortunately. Maybe we should. These are called the Microjoy, and one is Elevate. This is for relaxation and mood support and stress relief. It's got lion's mane. L-theanine is what I was trying to say earlier.
Okay.
This also has 5-HTP and B6. And then the other one, this is not to help sleep, it's to motivate. It's got cordyceps, maca root, and B12. Those bees are going to give you some energy. Yeah. So these are more energy. And then, so. Yeah,
great. And so are you liking them? Are they working?
I am. I've really mainly tested so far the sleep ones, and I'm liking them for sure.
Okay.
I mean, I
good.
did take one last night and I did wake up at 2 a.m., which my doctor who's helping me with my hormones right now, my OBGYN, she's like, oh, welcome to the club. This is like the 2:30 club where a lot of women are waking up and then it takes some hours to go back to sleep. So I'm usually, if I wake up in the middle of the night, then I'm usually up for like an hour and a half before I can fall back asleep, which is super annoying. Which is why those power naps are critical.
Yeah, very, very. Yeah, you definitely want to get those in. Progesterone, while we're on the topic of hormones here, progesterone is the hormone that makes you feel calm, cool, and collected. It's the one that will help you get good sleep. And so if you are on hormone replacement therapy using hopefully bioidentical hormones, you do want to be taking your progesterone right before you go to bed because it will help you kind of stay asleep through the night. So that might even be something that your doctor is looking at, Leah, for you.
Yeah, I am taking the progesterone at night. Though I'm also doing my testosterone, which I know it would be more activating.
You would want to do
that in the morning,
day.
But I'm one of those people that has a really hard time doing daytime.
No, you just put it next
supplements.
to your tea.
Yeah, I could try that. I'll be consistent if I do everything at night. But yeah, I should start switching because
that will help a lot.
If that's frustrating my sleep, then
yes, that will help a lot.
Important. Okay, so we've talked about hormones. Let's talk about, it kind of comes back to libido. Your libido is a hormonal reaction in your system. So
yeah, and orgasms actually will also help you have better sleep. Like, this is one of the reasons that men like to have sex before they go to sleep at night, because it just kind of releases all of that cortisol in the bloodstream, and it puts oxytocin into the bloodstream, which is another endogenous or natural hormone that makes you feel connected and calm and relaxed and happy and soft. And so that's going to really support you going to sleep. So that could be another trick if you're waking up at that 3 a.m. hour, is to just give yourself a little quickie and see if that can help you go back to sleep as well.
Yeah, because lack of sleep impairs the dopamine function. And it's a neurotransmitter that's so important for your reward system. And pleasure is a very important reward system. So when you're not getting sleep, you're not motivated, all that stuff gets disrupted. Now, testosterone is interesting because it's very important for men's sleep to have their testosterone restored during night, because you have these nocturnal erections, and you want to make sure that you are having those nocturnal erections, because it's a big indicator of heart health. And it's going to keep your testosterone strong during the day, which is really, really important. And as men age, starting at age 30, you lose 1% of your testosterone levels starting at age 30 every single year. So by the time you're 40, your testosterone levels have dropped by 10%.
10%.
By the time you're 50, it's another 10%. So it becomes critical for men in particular to get good sleep, because you need your testosterone to stay strong as you age, so that you have firmer erections and more volunteer erections. So I really recommend Dr. Justin Elliott's, as you do recommend, the Firm Tech cock ring. And this is a really cool piece of technology that measures your nocturnal erections. How many are you having a night? They have an app on your phone, and you wear this cock ring at night, and it'll measure all of that for you. It's a great indicator of your risk of heart disease. So, and plus it's a great cock ring. I think it's one of the best cock rings
the
ever.
best cock ring on the market.
It's
by
so
far.
much easier to put on than those normal circle cock rings.
Yeah, because it wraps around the base of the cock, and then it hooks. It's made of this incredible material, and you basically wrap it around, and there's like a little hook. Not a sharp hook. Don't worry. It's this nice soft material, but it's just a really brilliant cock ring. And he's got one where it reads, what's happening biologically for your body. How many erections are you having per night? How many? It's going to really give you a better read on your actual heart health. It's really incredible. And then he's got another cock ring that doesn't do any reading.
Yeah,
that
one is called
great
the
for
performance
sex.
ring.
Yeah.
The performance ring is just his cock ring, best cock ring on the market as far as I'm concerned. And then the other one is their Firm Tech cock ring. So two different cock rings. One has the Bluetooth capabilities that's measuring your nocturnal erections. The other one is just for fun. And we'll have a link in the show notes.
And I've had some men be like, well, I don't really want to wear Bluetooth around my genitals all night. And I can relate to that. I can totally understand that. I don't even like to wear those little earbuds that everyone wears. But I do think that it is, sometimes it can be really beneficial. People are wearing the Fitbits and all the little reader things
wear it
on
every
their
night.
body. You don't wear it every night. It's just to get a read, for a night here and there.
You do it like once a week and then drop to once a month. And just see where you're at, especially if you're overweight, you're over the age of 50, and you drink alcohol or you smoke. Those are very important if that's a part of your lifestyle, is to have these measurements. It's a big game changer, and it could honestly keep you alive.
Absolutely.
You do not want a heart attack.
Another thing that is happening for a lot of men, mostly, sometimes women as well, is sleep apnea, where you actually stop breathing for long periods of time while you're sleeping. And this is, there's so many ways to heal sleep apnea. But definitely doing breath work is going to be one of the more natural ways. And you're not going to, if you can, and losing the weight, peptides can help with that. I mean, there's so many things that you can do to really heal your body from the not getting enough oxygen while you're sleeping. You're going to have such better cognitive function. I've worked with so many men who got on the CPAP machine, which is just, that it helps them get more oxygen, it helps them sleep better, but it's this really invasive thing on your face all night. Your partner has to listen to it, so there's other options for healing sleep apnea.
Yeah. And, for a lot of people, it is the best intervention. I've been with partners with sleep apnea who've had the machine, and knowing them before and after is like a totally different person.
Game changer.
Yeah. When you're not getting enough oxygen at night, you're getting too much carbon dioxide, and you're peeing all night long, which is keeping you up because your body's trying to move the carbon dioxide out of your system. You have to take, your brain isn't functioning. So you have brain fog all the time. It is so critical that if you are struggling with sleep apnea, and trust me, I would rather listen to Darth Vader than to hear you snore like seesaws.
That's a good point.
The surgeries for the deviated septums are getting better and better and better and better. That's a great alternative. Sure, breath work, if that will work. I don't think that'll work for everybody. And
weight loss is a huge part of it.
Totally.
So getting your gut microbiome settled and all of that is going to be a huge part of it. But that's a longer game. So yeah, you want an immediate change, then definitely the CPAP is going to be the quickest and most immediate fix for that. There are really amazing peptides that will help you sleep better. It's been incredible to see some of the people in my peptide world and community who have been struggling with sleep for decades, and all of a sudden they are sleeping like babies. They're sleeping so good, and all the way through the night they have so much more energy, and they are, also kind of screaming from the mountaintops, peptides are the wave of the future in health, because it's been really incredible to see the difference with that. Anything else about apnea that you want to mention, or?
No, but I think it shouldn't be a surprise that sleep is related to libido, our ability to reach orgasm, our ability to have erectile function. And let's not forget, women have as much erectile tissue inch for inch and ounce for ounce as men. It's not just men who need important circulation down to their genitals in order to reach pleasure. It's so critical. I think I saw a study that says that women who, for every additional hour of sleep, women's odds of engaging in partnered sexual activity increases by 14%. How many of you listening, ladies, are like dragging ass when it comes to actually having sex? It's like, you'd rather go to bed early. You'd rather have a snack. You'd rather read your book. You'd rather watch TV. That is because you don't have energy. And chances are it's because you're not sleeping as deep or as long as you need to feel restorative. So the more sleep you get, the more likely you're going to feel like sex. You're going to feel that sense of being horny. Does anyone remember what being horny feels like? It's amazing.
I do. I'm horny all the time.
Makes you feel alive than feeling horny. And the truth of the matter is like, sure, you can take little pills, or you can get all sorts of toys, things that like penis pumps and vulva pumps that like force blood into your parts. But the truth is there are a lot more natural lifestyle things, little switches that you can do to make these things effortless.
Yeah.
So it's like we want to decrease that cortisol, and we want to make having sex fun and effortless. Sleep is so important. Exercise. You've heard it. We've all heard it over and over before. Get good sleep and exercise.
Let's take a quick break.
Hey guys, what would it be like if you could last 10 times longer when you're having sex?
We are going to teach you how to gain massive confidence as a lover, all without performance anxiety, gimmicks, or prescription.
This course is perfect for you if you've ever been mortified by a sexual encounter that ended way too early.
Or if you've ever avoided intimacy out of fear that you won't last as long as your lover desires. Or maybe you long to give your partner multiple orgasms but can't last long enough to make that a reality.
Well, good news, we've got your back, and it's in our course, Last 10 Times Longer. Go to sexreimagined.com/last-10x-longer.
And for all of our favorite listeners out there, we are giving you a discount, 20% off, y'all. Just put in podcast 20, all caps, podcast 20, to get your 20% off of this phenomenal course that you're going to want to review more than once.
The link is in the show notes. We cannot wait to see you inside this course. Plus, don't forget, we always got tons of bonuses. See you there.
Another thing that will really support having better sleep is waking up at a consistent hour and then going to bed at a consistent hour.
Right, routine.
And starting to really dim the lights. Like when the sun goes down, look around your house and your environment. Are there 3 or 4 lights that you can turn off, and do you have dimmers? Is that a possibility for you? Because that starts to tell your brain and your circadian rhythm that, okay, we're settling down now. We're moving toward, and you probably have all heard this before, but it's so true, which is to, get off your screens at a certain hour, like 2 hours at least before you go to bed.
This is such an important biohack.
So all of this is going to really give you the energy that you need in the morning, because this is a big thing too. I have a lot of women I work with who I ask them the question, like, when you wake up in the morning, do you wake up like ready to go and awake, or is it like more of a drag and it takes an hour to kind of get up and wake up and you need caffeine and the whole 9 yards? And all of them, it's the drag, and that can be related to so many things. But then I'll ask them about their sleep habits. And sure enough, they're on their devices till midnight or later. And then they're not,
waking up to their devices too.
Yeah, and they're just dragging in the morning. And so all of that makes a huge difference. I personally am not a huge fan of those blue blocker glasses. I feel like they make my eyes fuzzy. But there are all these, like, I've got an app on my computer called Lux, Lux, which actually, as the time changes and the sun goes down, it changes the color on my screen. And there's
cool.
ones you can have, for your phone and things like that, so that it's kind of automatic. It's just built into your devices.
That's great.
Yeah, so that you're not always getting that like blue light into your system.
One thing, think back, you guys, to the last time you went camping or you were at a retreat center where they didn't have television and you weren't really on your phones much. Like, notice how wonderfully tired you were when, like, at 9 o'clock at night and you were ready to go to bed, or 8 o'clock at night. And then waking up early and how you feel refreshed. There's a reason for that. You're more connected to the sun. These circadian rhythms are no joke. I totally recommend. Huberman, his podcast has done a lot of stuff on this. We have a red light mat. So sometimes I'll put the red light mat on me for like 25 minutes. That helps regulate my system so I feel tired. Also, notice your normal sleep signals. A sleep signal is a yawn. You'll get your first yawn at about 7:30 at night. You want to follow that. If you allow those early yawns to go by, where you're still watching TV, instead of allowing yourself to start doing that sleep hygiene where you start preparing yourself for bed, whatever your routine is. Most of us, we're washing our face, we're brushing our teeth, we're starting to get cozy, we're dimming all the lights, we might read for a couple minutes, and then we fall asleep. You want to follow those natural sleep signals in order to get the best restorative sleep. That's how I actually retrained myself to sleep without sleep aids, is I really started to pay attention to those early sleep signals and then started to prepare myself for bed at that first or second yawn, even if it felt like it was too early. It was like, okay, I'm putting on my PJs and I'm moisturizing my skin and I'm taking my supplements and I'm getting my eye mask and my earplugs ready. Like, all those little things that are repetitive continue to signal to your system, we are shutting down now. We are getting ready to restore ourselves. And I tell you, it worked.
It does. It totally works. All those things are going to give you not only more energy and more cognitive function, but better orgasms and better like space for intimacy in your life.
And the psychological benefits, you're going to reduce your anxiety. It's going to make it easier for you to connect with your partner and experience pleasure. Also, when you're going to bed earlier, especially if you have a partner that you share intimate space with, like, you're having a shared experience of getting ready for bed. And if you go to bed earlier, you're creating more time for there maybe to be a little more intimacy and some closeness that might lead to some good sex.
That's true.
Not to mention, But if you get up a little earlier, there's an opportunity to take advantage men's testosterone levels are highest
In the morning, hence the morning wood.
Yeah.
If they're
Take
getting good
advantage of
sleep
that.
at night, they're going to be waking up ready to go. Now, what would you say, Leah, to people who they just have couples who have completely opposite sleep schedules? Because I know there's a lot of couples out there who she wants to go to bed super early. He doesn't go to bed until 2 a.m. sometimes. And then, she's up early and he sleeps in bed longer. What would you say where their lifestyles, their work schedules?
Yeah, their rhythms are different.
Yeah, what would you say?
Some people are larks, some people are owls. And so the key, I think, is whoever is like the owl, which would be the person that goes to bed later, tuck in the person who goes to sleep sooner. Have a ritual of connection where the person who stays up tucks in the person who goes to sleep. For the person who wakes up earlier, I will make Matt's coffee and put it on a timer. Or he'll make my tea. Whoever wakes up early, we do that. Whoever goes to bed later, sometimes I go to bed before Matt, I'll put the toothpaste on his toothbrush. So it's waiting for him for when he goes to bed. And what's interesting about that is it's less noisy for when he's coming into bed and I'm already
have to shuffle around for the new toothpaste.
Yeah, there's less shuffling. So you can do these little
and it's also sweet.
For each other. It's hey, I'm looking out for you. I care about you. Here's a way that we're a part of each other's experience, even if we're not going to bed and waking up at the same time. We're nurturing each other's chosen time to wake up and go to sleep. Yeah. We're also taking care of ourselves. So I think you can do little rituals like that, which are meaningful. Yeah. And then you need to have an agreed time of day that is the most opportune for the best kind of sex. For instance, a woman's testosterone levels are highest between 2 to 3 in the afternoon. So if you want to leverage your libido, have an afternoon delight. If your work schedule can work around that, that's an awesome time for me to connect with my partner because I've already had lunch, so I'm not hungry. I'm not ready for dinner. It's this perfect thing where I don't have my desire for food as a distraction. Plus, my sex drive is the highest because my testosterone is the highest. And when you're getting enough sleep, you're less irritable, which makes it more fun to have sex.
Easier to communicate. And
yes, totally. You're not pissing anybody off.
Yeah, for sure. All right, everyone. Well, tell us what you learned in this episode, what you loved about it. Leave a comment wherever you are listening or tuning in from. And let us know also, what you are going to do. What's one thing that you're going to do to improve your sleep in the coming days, weeks, and months?
Love, love, love.
Thanks for tuning in. This episode was hosted by Tantric Sex Master Coach and Positive Psychology Facilitator Leah Piper, as well as by Chinese and Functional Medicine Doctor and Taoist Sexology Teacher Dr. Willow Brown. Don't forget, your comments, likes, subscribes, and suggestions matter. Let's realize this new world together.
Ladies, do you want to explore your sexuality and experience true sexual healing?
The Vaginal Orgasms Masterclass teaches you and your partners how to unlock your full sexual potential and awaken the G-spot, the sacred spot, and the cervix for an unforgettable sexual experience. Would learning how to finally surrender and release grief, fear, and uncertainty benefit your outlook on life, love, and relationships? We certainly think so. Common misconceptions of the G-spot, including its anatomy and function as an erogenous zone, will be covered in this course.
Plus, we're going to teach you 7 different massage strokes for the G-spot that dissolve blocked energy and increase your pleasure tenfold.
We're going to teach you how to locate the sacred spot and the best methods to stimulate it for maximum pleasure.
And you're going to learn about cervical orgasm techniques, which are the most powerful and also often elusive style of climaxing. This class is primarily geared toward women, but men have taken it as well and learned so much about how to pleasure their partners.
So get ready for multiple O's, my friends. And you can get all of that at sexreimagine.com/female-masterclass. And for being a listener of the show, we've got a beautiful coupon code for you. It is 20% off this course. Just type in podcast20, that's all caps, podcast20, and get yourself a great deal on this on-demand course.